Hey guys, welcome to the top 10 worst beers of 2011 for Chad's Beer Reviews. In case you're new here, I do a show called Chad's Beer Reviews on YouTube, where I do a video beer review of, any kind of beer by any kind of brewery from anywhere and, whatever. I don't tend to seek out stuff that I think is going to be bad, but I don't avoid it either. I try to review a macro beer every once in a while just for fun and kicks, and, because I think every beer at least deserves as fair a review as possible. I actually didn't really review that many bad beers this year compared to 2010 and 2009. But, there's definitely 10 pretty bad ones to make this list. So that's the rules. In order for a beer to qualify for this list, it had to be something that I reviewed in calendar year 2011. It's not meant to be the worst beers in the world or the worst beers that were released in 2011 or anything like that. Just, of all the beer reviews that I recorded in 2011, these are the top 10 worst, so check them out and have fun watching. Cheers. It was pretty mild across, the first half of the palate, but the second half ended with a strong bitterness followed by kind of a slight sour astringency. Now I'm getting this sourness across the whole palate from front to back. It's just like a generic kind of bitterness and sourness. I don't like it. Yeah, so 3 out of 10 for Lake Placid Ubu Ale, bordering on a 2. I just don't get what they were going for with this one. It tastes like a wet grain. That's pretty much all it tastes like. Wet, especially wet straw or wet hay. Corn, some kind of corn mash with water. That's kind of how my stomach feels after drinking this thing. Yeah, make sure you drink it cold, because now that it's even just warming up a little, it's just every swig is getting a little more sour than the one before it. It's a 3 out of 10, bordering on 2. I used to think this beer was good, so that tells you how far I've come since then. Very watery texture, watery taste. It's a very mediocre representation of the style. Remember last year when I went off on a rant about how the IPA is nothing like an IPA? The same is true with this pale ale here. It's more like an amber lager. And even though I don't grade by style, it's still not a beer that's particularly enjoyable in any respect. This is gonna get a 3 too. It's I can tolerate this, but there's really nothing to like here, so. All the skunk and grain hits you all at once like a ton of bricks. Because I was the first half I was this isn't that bad. And then when I swallowed it, it was it's drinkable, I can tolerate it. The flavor isn't disgusting. There's even a little bit of slight sweetness in there. Drinkability on it is really high once you get past the skunkiness. And I'm sure you could Corona this up and just stick a lime in there, and it would probably taste exactly the same. So, yeah, 3 out of 10 for Landshark Lager. It's a tolerable beer. Yeah, I didn't know it was going to be this much lime. I thought it was going to be Bud Light plus lime, but this is the opposite. This is lime plus Bud Light. So it does kind of drink like I said with the aroma is like Kool-Aid. It's just all lime all the time. This doesn't taste anything like when you suck Corona straight from the bottle with the lime in the neck. It's just kind of alcoholic limeade. I would take this over the regular Bud Light because it actually has flavor to it, even though it's totally artificial. But that being said, I'm gonna give 3 out of 10 for the Bud Light lime. It's tolerable. Kind of reminds me how a lot of the malt liquors taste. No hops, no bitterness, very clean, neutral tasting, very bland. A metallic taste in there. Stale, like I said with the nose, stale bread, stale grain. It's kind of a sourness to it, and this is at fridge temp. Imagine how it's going to be once it warms up. So I'm gonna be a tad generous and give this a 3 out of 10, which is tolerable. It's tolerable. I could drink it. I've had worse, but there's really no reason to seek this out. Kind of caramel and butterscotch, like even a little bit of coffee and dark bitter chocolate, but like take all those flavors and like take like if they had gone bad, that's what this beer tastes like. That's what the palate is. It's like those flavors gone bad. It's sour. It's astringent. It leaves a bad aftertaste. It's almost metallic in a way. I had this on tap and it was even worse. I couldn't even finish it. I only got like 12 ounces of it. I only drank like 4 and dumped it. The bottle version isn't nearly as bad. I can finish this thing, as you can see. But this is getting pretty low grade from me. I'm giving this this is getting a 3 out of 10. It tastes like all those other generic European pale blonde lagers with like the rubber glove taste and just the super graininess and the sourness, only denser, thicker. Like this beer like sticks to my teeth. It doesn't reek, it doesn't smell too bad. It kind of tastes like corn syrup in beer. It's I don't know, I just like I get that rubber glove taste. It's pretty bad. I'm sorry, Bart, but this is getting a 2. But yeah, so this is supposed to be a craft beer. And it, it looks good, it smells okay. The first half of the palate is okay, it's kind of tolerable, it's not really exciting. But the second half is just completely off. It's just completely off-putting in all aspects. I mean, it's like sour. It's like, it's not even that it's bitter, it's not like it's bitter like an IPA or something like that. I mean, it tastes spoiled, it tastes, I mean, maybe they had a whole batch that went bad, and if so, why didn't they recall it? But between my experience at Mahar's Beer Noobs review and this review, I'm thinking this is how this is supposed to taste, and if that's the case, I don't know what they were thinking. I'm going to give this a 2. I hate to say it, but, it's not my first time drinking it, and for all the reasons I mentioned, sorry I sound like a broken record, but yeah, sorry Mr. and Mrs. Stoudt who own this brewery, but this beer is crap. Tomato and clam, and salt. It smells like salt water. Who likes this? I feel like throwing up before I even take a sip here. Alright, here we go. Cheers. Ugh. Well, it's worse than the Bud Light version. At least the Bud Light, I took like, what, 3 or 4 swigs, maybe 5? I took about half a sip on this one and I'm gagging already. It tastes like puke. Like if you've ever thrown up and you have that residual bile flavor in your mouth, that's basically what it tastes like. I think it tastes even more salty and more fishy than the Bud Light version. So, yep, again. Well, I hope this was an interesting review for you guys. As for final grade, well, it's getting a 0.